fun activity to be involved in.
A legacy sports event taking place in Mile End today. Well, let's get more now on the comments from Dame Tessa Jowell. Joining us is Michelle Moore, who works to develop opportunities for young people off the back of 2012. Thank you for joining us this evening. Are you surprised by what Dame Tessa's had to say today?
No, not at all. I think she's made some really valid points, some interesting points. And what she's done is she's explained as to why the sports participation figures have decreased. And it's been related mainly to the reduced funding from government and the dismantling of the old school sports partnerships, which were behind the massive success of the London 2012 Olympic Games and the medal wins that we won there. So for the comments that are made today, they are valid. Back in 2010, the figures were 3.9 million young people taking part in sport, and now they're at 3.8 million. So there has been a decrease in the numbers of young people taking part in sport.
Do you think there's an element of perhaps electioneering here as well? And some of the language she used, you know, my wicked predecessors, I think, is there an aim of her kind of trying to set herself aside as, I want to be the next mayor?
Well, all candidates do that. All mayoral candidates want to take the causes that they're passionate about and make them bigger than what they are. But actually, this is one that is vitally important for the health of our nation. 2/3 of our young people are obese. Sport, physical activity is really important in really combating lots of those chronic diseases. And it might be that, but actually what she's doing is she's pointing to something that does need proper investment and proper focus on how do we maximise the Olympic legacy. And I actually think it's a mistake that was made 10 years ago when the bid was actually announced. At that time, we should have been thinking about how we actually plan for legacy more thoroughly, more strategically, and across the piece by everybody involved, by government and the key stakeholders.
Lord Coe has also been speaking today on that. It's poignant time, really. 10 years ago, we were all celebrating in Singapore.
Definitely.
He's saying that we've come a long way. There's still a long way to go, but we have seen improvements. Do you take that on board as well? Do you think he's right?
I think he is partly. I think what we have to remember is that the East London has seen huge, significant improvements in terms of regeneration. And the stadia, the park, it's no ordinary park, one of the best in Europe. I was just there very recently, took my little nephew, Rio, and we couldn't get out of the park. We went to the aquatic centre, we went up the orbit, and actually it's a venue filled with Olympic venues with elite sportsmen and women taking part in sport in those venues, as well as it's open to the community. So it's a fantastic resource. Regeneration has taken place. There have been an increase in employment opportunities, and we have to actually acknowledge that some business revenue has come back. However, it's very complicated. Any kind of staging of any sport mega event has a huge impact on the community, which is often complex, and there are often lots of negative impacts as well as positive ones.
When we've spoken in the past, we've spoken about this idea of us becoming participators more than anything. We just have to look at the likes of the support for Heather Watson in the tennis recently and the Women's World Cup to show that that side of the legacy might be paying off. We do seem to be supporting Team GB athletes and sports women and men more.
Definitely. The inspiration from the Games did do that. It created this whole nation of sports spectators. I remember a year on from the Games, the Sainsbury's anniversary Games at the park, the tickets were sold out within 45 minutes. And so undoubtedly, I think there's a real kind of excitement again. And the Lionesses came back today and to a frenzy at Heathrow Airport. And I was just at the London Youth Games over the weekend, where the best of London, of all of the London boroughs competed in terms of sport. And I was there, and the particular football team were actually quoting the Lionesses and the things that they were saying on the touchline. And so we do take that inspiration and the magnificence from somebody like Heather Watson as an underdog, playing her idol in Serena Williams. I was transfixed, as I know lots of people were. So yes, definitely.
Yeah, it was hugely poignant, wasn't it, when she spoke about how she wanted to have the picture of Serena Williams. Oh, she had it on a wall and then she was playing her. When it comes back to 10 years ago, do you remember where you were when you heard that we'd won the bid?
Oh yes, it's cemented cemented in my mind. I was actually, at that time I was in school, I was a teacher, an assistant head in a large secondary school, and I'd gone to my head teacher that morning and said, can we please take all the year 7s out of class? And she said, what for? And I said, it's the announcement. And we did have some students over in Singapore at the time as well. So we were all in the hall and we were watching the live transmission and we were jumping up and down for joy. And the hope and inspiration and anticipation that created was amazing. One student came up to me and said, Miss, we're going to be a part of it. We're going to be a part of history. So it was wonderful, yes. It was brilliant.
Indeed. OK, Michelle Moore, thank you for joining us this evening.